let's see. So I got my notes for Rime of the Frost Maiden #1. This is Sunday's Rime of the Frost Maiden. All right, this is What Lies Beneath. Oh, shit, where did I put that? Oh, here we go. Let's see, guys. So this is my Descent into Avernus notebook. I'll need that for Monday. These are my notes for my Kahai sessions with the fiance. These are just general notes. Tomb of Annihilation here. You have to leveled up last. This is for the Icewind Dale Sunday campaign. Okay. Where the hell did I put my notes for Icewind Dale's Wednesday night? Oh, hey. Hey there. Welcome to Danger Wizard. I'm just in the middle of doing a little note shuffling, so thank you for joining, though. I can make time for you guys. Today I wanted to talk to you guys about how I run 4+ campaigns at the same time and don't totally lose my mind. The first thing that I do is that I write almost everything down, and I have separate notebooks for it too. I was trying to do the route where I had just one mega notebook, and then I would color code the pages, and I would show that, oh, okay, so this is for this campaign in red, this campaign highlighted in blue is for the other one, the Icewind Dale campaign, you know, blue is cold, red is hell, and then yellow for Tomb of Annihilation, but that led to a lot of flipping around, so now every campaign has its own notebook. This one with the dotted lines, I try to make them all visibly different too, so I can kind of just look at a glance. Like this is my Tomb of Annihilation campaign because it is the dotted line paper. For the Icewind Dale campaign that I'm doing with my friends from high school and college, I guess I do this all with friends now, but this is the big notebook, so this gets all the Icewind Dale information. For my second Icewind Dale campaign, I use a big hard-covered notebook, so I can tell that this is for my Sunday group. For the Descent into Avernus gang, I have a red-covered flip book, so red is for hell, and then all my notes here. I prefer notebooks with spines, spiral spines, so you can just flip back as needed. It doesn't take up as much space. It folds neater on a table. If you need to, you can write something down, rip it out, hand it to someone. You know, if we're ever back in person again. They also tend to stack a little bit easier. This is my general notebook. This is just kind of like all of my Danger Wizard, Dungeon Master, general musings I put in here separately. Then my daily planner, I guess you could say, my to-do list, my work notes for my actual job too, I put down in this handy little notebook. And then over here I have, this is my map book. So if I want to make, it has, you know, square grids here. So I've made a few different maps that aren't terrible. I mean, they're relatively small, but I've actually ran several games, 3 different, well, they're supposed to be one-shots. Only once has it been a single 4-hour one-shot. The rest, it was at least 2 or 3 sessions to get through the Garden of the Innocent. But you can scan, I've scanned this in and then put it on Fantasy Grounds, you know, pinned it with a bunch of different little enemies and encounters, treasure bits, and that's been a lot of fun. This is not what I'm working on. This is a little more like a video game side-scroller level. You know, I went to art school. You'd never guess it looking at this stuff, but it's fun. It's a creative outlet, and it gets you making the games that you want to make, and it's just kind of neat to show what you've done. This was just like a little laboratory escape from, you know, Ratman tunnel. But anyways, I've tried doing the digital route. I know I have Fantasy Grounds, I have Google Doc, and that can be useful for some things, but at least for me, I mean, it's the reason I have all these Dungeons and Dragons books. I like the physical items. I like seeing it in my hand, and I don't like having to have, you know, enough power on my phone or my device in order to access it. I just like being able to carry around with it, write it down with a pen. You know, that's writing things down for me is one of the best ways to make something real or make something stick. So that is my first tip for running 4+ different campaigns, is write things down and give them their own separate devoted notebook. The second thing that I recommend for keeping 4 campaigns going in a fairly cohesive manner is to schedule frequently and honestly. Don't make promises that you can't keep. Don't tell people that you'll be there when you know you cannot. And if you have a conflict or something comes up, tell them right away. Don't wait. Even if you're not sure if it's going to be a definite conflict, let your groups know ahead of time that there might be a complication, at least so they can start making, alternative backup plans, and then just be as open in communication as you can with them, because they'll understand. Sometimes they have to reschedule too. I had a friend that just got married. I mean, we knew about it in advance, but we moved things around. We had other times like, people couldn't make, not all of us could make it up for our Sunday game, so instead we decided, since we were going to be one player short, we had another player do a one-shot of his own as a dungeon master, and I actually got to play for the first time in like 2 years, so that was great. It worked out well for everybody. But the important thing is to be respectful of your own time, but especially be respectful of the other people's time. I mean, as a dungeon master, hopefully already you have some time management skills. You have to do some prep. Maybe there are some of you out there who can just show up to a table and just free riff a whole session. More power to you. I would love to try to do that someday. Someday soon. I'll give it a shot. That'll be a separate video. But for now, I at least need to do 20 minutes of prep, which means I at least need to think about when I'm going to do that, when the game night is going to be. Also, I make sure that, each game has its own night. I never double book in the same day. A, because I have a day job, and B, because, well, I mean, if I could double book in a day, morning, afternoon, that could be fun. No, anyways. But by giving each game its own day, it allows you to kind of just mentally refresh a little bit, get a night's sleep, and then just transition into the next, the next campaign, the next setting. Because the games I have right now, they're all very, very different, in terms of geography. One is in the first layer of Hell. The other one is in the lush, overgrown jungles of Chult, and then the other two are in the frozen north. Which are good, because those kind of help at least inform each other. What works in one game, I can bring it to the other, and vice versa. What doesn't work in another, I can just kind of nix or adjust as necessary in the other game. But yeah, definitely be respectful of people's time, make sure that you're prompt about scheduling, and communicate openly. The third thing that I recommend when you're running all these different campaigns is to read your material. If you're doing a pre-printed or a pre-written adventure, you don't have to read the whole thing, although I do recommend that. I at least like skimming through the books, just so I know what the end goal is and how to kind of incorporate the different plot lines and character hooks. But you should at least be familiar with what's going to happen that night. And 5-10 minutes out of your day, just sit down, read the chapter that they're on, or read the couple pages before and after, and familiarize yourself somewhat with what's coming up. Doesn't have to be super long, unless you're doing some homebrew stuff and you got to do a little extra legwork. Just make sure you give yourself the time during the day to do that. Don't be afraid to bounce ideas off of other players and other groups. I've definitely asked my Sunday group, hey, for my Tuesday night players, I have this coming up. What do you guys think? What would be fun for you? But you can ask the different groups for advice. Don't give away any plot secrets in case they haven't already played it. If they have played a module, though, then that's definitely the ideal time to ask people for their feedback on what they experienced, what they thought went well for them. But yeah, ask your players, what would be fun for you, and then do that for the other groups. The fourth thing that I recommend for keeping all of your campaigns in order is to give every group their own separate Slack or Discord channel. I personally use Discord, but having a little icon that I know represents all my different groups is super useful for keeping track of mainly people's names, real names and character names, especially when the characters die or change. Keeping track of plot lines, sometimes even just seeing a funny GIF or picture that one of your players posted will remind you of something that you didn't write down the last time. Like, oh yeah, I remember that was a joke to me, but that was important to you guys, so I'm gonna remember that for tonight's session. I have some players that take a prodigious amounts of notes, and they'll put those into the character logs, or everyone can reference that. I have other gangs that don't do that at all, but they like to make fun of each other, both for reasons in-game and out of game. But having a place where all the players can collectively combine their knowledge, communicate with each other, have fun, and it's like a notebook, for the party. but it's digital and it's accessible to everyone as well. It also helps with scheduling too. It's a great way, instead of having to text or email everyone at the same time, you just drop it into the chat. I mean, I'm imagining most of you guys who are watching this on the internet are familiar with tools available on the internet. But if you're not, for some reason, highly recommend Discord, or even just like a group email, something like that, something quick and easy where everyone can communicate in a timely manner. So the last thing that I'm going to recommend, my 5th hot tip for managing multiple campaigns at the same time, is schedule time to do other things. D&D is super fun. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I love gaming in general. But it's easy to burn out on this stuff, especially when you're the dungeon master and you feel like you have to kind of hold the reins together for all these different groups, with all these different expectations and plot lines and preferences of play style. I've been very lucky in the sense that I have found people that have, again, very different ways of how they like to play, but I find ways to enjoy all of that. You know, if I didn't, I wouldn't do it, because besides this being a hobby and a side hustle for me, it's fun. And if I'm not having fun, then I'm not going to do it. But all my groups have been fantastic. They've all done wonderfully unexpected antics or come up with very unique ways to get into and out of sometimes trouble. At the same time, I find that it's important to disconnect, step away from the notebook, step away from the prep and the rule books and Discord and all of that, and find things that you can relax, something else that you can kind of unfocus your brain on. Sometimes if it's watching a show, for me, I like to read. Sometimes, because I spend so much time in the fictional world, I like to read some more nonfiction than I used to in the past. I've also noticed that as a dungeon master who is frequently called upon to know how things like actually work mechanically, biologically, politically, socially sometimes, it's good to kind of, in an ironic way, it's good to build your base of knowledge about real things, so when you have to bullshit them and just make them up out of whole cloth, you have more of a grounding in reality that makes it more fun for you and your players. Or going for a run, you know, exercising is a great way to just mentally exhaust yourself as well as physically exhaust yourself and restart. Also gives you more energy. I've gotten to rollerblading recently, which has been a shit ton of fun, hence the Band-Aid. Spending time with loved ones, calling an old friend, going for a walk, hike, just something where you're not always thinking about Dungeons and Dragons, because as much as we love this hobby and this is all-encompassing as it can be, I mean, you're literally creating entire universes and worlds with pantheons and demons and rival nations and tectonic plates shifting and spurging out magma and, you know, demon rifts, all sorts of, you know, a lot of big stuff is going on in that head of yours. So just take some time to clear it out every once in a while, shift your focus onto something else, reset, recalibrate. That way when the banners are unfurled and it's time to go back to the world of D&D, you've got fresh eyes, maybe a new perspective on how to come up on something, and it keeps you engaged both with D&D, but also with other parts of your life too. So, you know, don't lose sight that there is more to just gaming and campaigning and running, hopefully, kick-ass games of Dungeons & Dragons. Those are my 5 hot tips of how to run 4 or more concurrent campaigns of Dungeons & Dragons. I hope you guys found this video valuable. If you did, feel free to subscribe, like, please leave a comment. If any of you guys have also run several campaigns concurrently, please let me know how you do it, if there's anything that I missed, or any advice that you have for me as well, because I'm always learning, and I would love to hear how you guys have managed to do it as well. I mean, I've only been doing this for a couple of years now. The amount of games I've been running, honestly, it feels like I've been doing this for maybe twice as long as that. But hey, I mean, that's what you do when there's a pandemic and you can't go outside anymore. Well, I mean, you know, in basements with other people or over your friend's house. But that being said, thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys had fun. I know I did. But until next time, keep kicking ass, and remember, whatever life throws at you, roll with it.